Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Second hour of Hot Mic, ready to rock and roll on this Thursday morning, live on location at Bison Pro Day. It's the old waiter sit around and wait deal, but the drills should begin here in just a few minutes. It's 10 o'clock on a Thursday. It doesn't mean that Jory Collins can't join us. Bison women's basketball team is a game tonight against Washington State in the WNIT. You're playing, the baseball season started. We got Pro Day. That's a pretty good day today.
I know. You know, we always judge our season, Dom,
Right?
on if baseball started opening day and you're still playing, you're probably doing okay.
It's pretty good. The Royals were trending in the right direction, man. They might be pretty good
I'm
here.
excited. 3:10 today. I might actually get to watch the first 4 or 5 innings before got to get in game mode for us. So I got my MLB package purchased.
There you go. You're all set.
And we're ready to tune in.
Okay, playing a basketball game. First, we'll get to the opponent in a minute. It's March, 27th. You're still playing. There's only, I think if I did my math right, like 40-some-odd women's teams still going right now. That's got to be a big deal.
Well, we just talk about the youth on our team and the development piece of it and getting to play games in March. There's no other way to simulate that. We could be in individual workouts right now and honing some skills and doing those things. And I think you got a lot of time for that in the off season, Dom. You don't have a lot of time for game situations and scenarios against good teams that are still playing. The last 3 or 4 minutes of the game the other night against them, you can't simulate that in practice in the sense of urgency and all the things that you can learn, mistakes made and learn from, and all that stuff is just, for us, I think is really valuable. And we know where we're at. We know what tournament we're in.
Yep.
For us, there's no pressure. This is just fun. Hey, we still get to play.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy each other's company. Let's get out and practice a little bit, and then let's hook it up in front of our home crowd and go play a basketball game.
And have a Power 4 school come to Fargo.
Yeah.
That never happens.
Yeah, great name school, great coaching staff there, people I've known for years. Cammie Etheridge was
she was Northern Colorado for
Northern Colorado, but she was at Kansas State for 18 years as an assistant, and one of the greatest women's basketball players ever. She was National Player of the Year. Back in her day, Lori Kane is on their staff, who's one of the greatest Kansas players of all time. I think left K-State as the all-time leading three-point shooter in college basketball history back then. So I've known, that coaching staff since I was just getting started. They were in their heyday, and we got to play them in some exhibition games when I was at Emporia State, and they were at Kansas State. So they've done a great job there.
So is that the same style that you'll see tonight? Has that changed much?
Maybe a little bit. They have a huge where they're at now, and at Washington State, they have a huge international presence on their team. I think they only have 3 American kids
amazing.
On their team. 2 Washington kids, a Montana kid. And really their international kids are from all over, a wide variety. So they got a lot of flavor on their team, and just their style of play does have some, if you want to call it, some European flavor and some actions and things like that. And they're big kids. They're skilled kids. They do a lot of things really well.
They are third in the nation in block shots. So you've had 2 days. Can you prepare in 2 days for a team that long?
Not really. We bring in Big Max, our practice guy, 6'4" guy, and we said, hey, today you can block as many shots as you want to try to. So he liked that.
Yeah, I bet.
Usually we're like, hey, just wall up. If we score over you, but you can go ahead and go get some today. So that obviously presents a challenge when you're that big and long in the paint and the way they can protect the rim. So, we're going to have to manufacture some shots. We're going to have to make some threes, but we're still going there. We've never shied away from that. That's kind of who we are, and we'll continue to be.
Well, you're going through the post has been your success, and to see what Avery did again. I mean, I know it's getting old hat for you and I to talk about her, but 17 and 12, and the way she fights through contact now, I don't think we saw that last year. The strength to go through that and finish the play is something that
that's definitely been her development. Yeah. That's what's taken her from, even earlier in the year, from getting 12 to 13 points to averaging. I just looked in the last 10 games, she's 19 and 10.
Right.
And that's, big time production. Yep. And you don't do that unless you're able to force the issue a little bit in some moments and play through the contact. It's still hit or miss sometimes with her, but she's still a really young player as a sophomore, and it's only going to get better.
I was looking at the comparison from New Mexico State had, I think, 11 upperclassmen, and you're out there at the end of the game. You had three freshmen and 2 sophomores at the end of the game on Monday night.
Yeah, again, that's why we're doing this, Dom. And if you look around, who are the best teams in the country? They're all older
The
teams.
old teams.
Yep. They're all full of juniors and a lot of seniors. New Mexico State, veteran team. Obviously, South Dakota State in our league, very veteran team. That's where we're trying to get to, and we're trying to build as much experience as possible so that when we do get old, we get real good.
To see what Abby Schulte did on Monday, how much did that bring a smile to your face, knowing the struggles she's had offensively for the last month?
Well, I was just proud of her. You know, you get to this point in your career, you're down here, I think it'd be real easy to just be like, okay.
Pack it in.
Yep. Hey, I could be done. I had a great career. But I think she had a little extra in the tank the other night and you know, a look in her eye of, hey, let's have some more fun here for another couple weeks and see what happens. And, you know, you just don't get this time back. And it's really hard to tell young people to be in the moment, like, you know, this is it.
Yeah.
And
exactly
you don't want to waste any of the opportunities they have as a young athlete, because we all get old pretty fast, and those are the glory days, and you want those things to go on as long as possible.
I thought for a Monday night, the crowd was really good and made an impact late in the game. I hope there's more that come tonight, especially you mentioned with a brand-name school, that could be a difference maker, because you guys it's just a different team inside the Shack.
Yeah, we've played well at home, and I'll be honest, I thought there was, I don't know what it listed. I thought, you know, we listed 1,000. It felt like it was way more than
agree.
that. Because the people that were there were phenomenal. I hope we double that tonight. I hope we get a lot more people in there tonight, and they're as loud as they were, because it does make a difference. I don't care what anybody says. You play at home in front of a big crowd, you have some juice in situations that can will you to a loose ball or a big shot or a big defensive stop, and that always matters. And we've had great people all year long. The people that come to our games are loud and proud, and we appreciate them.
I know the tournament is different in how it's organized, but your reaction when you found out you were going to host this round, were you surprised that you were getting another game at home?
You know, not necessarily. You know, I think there's a lot of things in play with this tournament. One, there's a regional out in Spokane. So, you know, the NCAA tournament's having some stuff there, and I don't know with logistics.
That's right, I forgot
that. How easy or hard it would be for us to get out there, and how easy it may be for them to be here. So that may play some roles in it. I know our admin's doing what they can to get us home games, which we're very appreciative of. So we'll take as many of those as we can get.
I look at the other players on your roster that really, you know, Molly Lenz had a big three the other night. Obviously, Avery did. Marissa's back to what we saw early on in the season. How much is that just the roller coaster of a young player playing as long as they've ever had in their career now, going almost to April? Yeah,
I mean, I think it's 100%. She's looked like she's had more. When we had the week off and came back, she looked as fast as she's ever looked, getting up and down the floor. And, you know, I think she's been going against some really good athletes as a young player, and she's played heavy minutes, and I couldn't be more proud of how she's handled all that. And Claire as well, just some, you know, just some up and down. But I thought Claire was really good the other night also. So those two young kids are getting some big-time minutes against some really good teams, and I know that'll pay dividends.
I don't know many people knew her story. I was really cool to be a chance
that was
to
really
tell
good,
that.
by the way. I appreciate
that.
you doing that.
How often is it for a coach, a college coach, like, you know what, I don't know, that with that kind of injury to be scared off to say, we like her, but I don't know if we're going to go down that road to recruit?
Well, I think a lot of it depends on who you are. I think it depends on what your roster is, what you're looking for. We had zero questions about Claire's ability to play really well at this level and what her versatility was going to offer at this level. I mean, we were like, I don't even know what position she's going to be, but she's 6 foot, pretty skilled, pretty smart, has great feel. That's somebody we want on our team because she could fill a variety on whatever style we end up playing 2 years from now when we're recruiting her. That's just a fit. And then you see that she has the injury. You ask questions. Hey, well, I'm going to be in this brace for quite a while. Well, okay, so you're going to lose a little development in high school, but there really wasn't a concern that it was going to heal eventually. And for us, she was just too quality of a player, too quality of a person. Being a Minnesota kid, we've had great luck, obviously, with Maple Grove. And so it was really a no-brainer for us. And I know she appreciated that. And it was a good match all along. And I think we would have got her no matter what, just because I think she felt great about us. But, you know, it's a heck of a story. Not too many people break their back and continue to play and then recover the way that she has.
Is she playing out of position then this year for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Where do you
quite
see
a bit.
her next year?
You know, it was early in the year, Dom, where trying to get our 5 best guys out there at one time, and I didn't want Avery and AK to be splitting minutes as much early in the year, and so we made the choice to move AK out on the perimeter just because she'd started a bunch of games as a freshman, and we needed her energy and physicality. That put Claire at a 4, kind of backing up Avery a little bit, and has done a terrific job there. But she's much more of a 3 and perimeter guy. We'll probably end up swapping those guys back, in the off season. But she's too good a passer and ball handler that we don't get to see too much. But I'm pretty excited about her development here in the postseason.
I want to ask you about Kraswinski because she seems like a silent assassin, for what she does. But she also told me last week when I had a chance to interview her that she put the Kansas City loss really quick to bed. How much is that needed from even a sophomore to have that kind of leadership, say, okay, we still have more games to play. We got to flush this one really quick.
We all did. The best thing about that, Dom, is we went home and we didn't see each other for 8 days.
Yeah.
And when we came back, I didn't say one word about the game. I looked at it for myself and wallered around for 2 or 3 days, but nobody else had to see that or be around that. And then it was like, hey, we're still going. This is a whole new season, new chapter here. Let's put our best foot forward from here on out. And AK's she's one of our best teammates, if not our most popular kid, just the way she treats everybody. Practices hard. She's playing through all kinds of ankles and a bad shoulder and doesn't complain and just goes out there and does her job. She has the respect of everybody on our team, and it doesn't surprise me that her mindset was that good right away.
I was asking Tim about the craziness of this. He's dealt with it in the past of obviously season going on, portal open. You're obviously the opponent you're playing tonight just lost a player in the portal. As a basketball coach, I guess – why is it open now? Because that seems to be the hot topic around college basketball is why is the transfer portal open when the NCAA tournament is still going on?
Yeah,
I don't know if you have the answer to that.
Yeah, I don't have the answer to it. And specifically, at least they've set a period now.
Yep.
Whereas years past, it's just been you go in whenever you want to, and it's just open forever. I think coaches would even like it even more narrowed down.
Like 15 days?
Yeah, I mean, just
because right? I mean,
most people and kids are putting it out there now. Before week 2 before. Yep. Hey, I'm going in. Yep. I know it doesn't officially happen. Nobody can call me till this day.
But I'm going to be
everybody
there.
Can start. Getting your ducks in a row on who's in and who's not. It's just a wild time. I think it's really hard for the vast majority of teams are done and are all in the portal process right now. And the teams that still are playing are a little bit, obviously preoccupied. So it's really hard. You're not bringing kids in on visits if you're at the NCAA tournament. And if we're on the road, we're not bringing kids in on visits. It used to be this time of year you had your meetings a week after. You were set. You got your postseason organized, and how can we make this guy better?
Then away you went, right?
And now the 4 to 5 weeks when your season's over is sometimes the worst time of the year. And that's not good for anybody. That's not good for your team's mental health. I know it's not good for coaches' mental health to just be sitting by the phone.
Waiting for it to ring.
Waiting for it to ring,
or
good or bad.
Or somebody coming to your office.
100%. You always cringe when – hey, Coach, can I come talk to you?
Nope.
I'd rather not. What about?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Okay. That's just the world we're in right now.
Name of the game right now.
And it's a tough time for everybody.
The impact of that, I think if I did the math right, there's 16 teams left in the NCAA, 16 in the WNIT, and 8 in the WBIT. So that's 40. Yeah. That leaves 310 some odd schools that aren't playing that are – trying to improve their rosters right now.
Yeah, and calls, visits.
Yeah.
We've had 2 kids on visits already. Got another one this weekend. It's going crazy.
Yeah.
It's fast and furious, and this is like speed dating. Really, most kids aren't taking the 2 to 3 weeks, and it's I kind of have it narrowed down already, and if it's right, it's right.
Man, it's the opposite of recruiting, right? Because recruiting, you take a while to get to know somebody, and then this is the opposite of that.
Yeah, and that's a downside to it. part of it is you got to trust other people that have had relationships with the players. A lot of it is you already had a relationship with the player in one way or the other, recruited him potentially previously.
Or there's a connection.
Or there's a connection one way or the other, and you probably lean on those relationships as much as anything.
The Captain Obvious question, I know you want to win this tournament. How important would it be for Bison women's basketball to keep playing, to get some more wins going here?
I think it'd be huge. I think learning how to win this late in the year is obviously critical to who we want to become as a program and what we want to do going forward. You know, for me, we're still ascending as a program. We're still getting better. We're still bringing in great kids. You know, the last 10% of you getting better is the hardest part, and I think these are the most valuable times for us. So every day we get to practice right now in preparation for an opponent is huge for us.
You want to run a 40? You want to go do that with these guys later?
My hamstrings would not last past the 10.
Is there an agility or a drill you'd like to do? If you see it on TV, like, well, I'd try that one.
You know, now at my age, I'd go out and rep the 225 and see what I got right now on the bench. But that's about the only one I feel like I could do.
The vertical? How about the vertical, man?
No, not anymore. 20 years ago.
What was it at?
25. I was pretty close to 30.
There you go. All right.
I was an okay athlete, but there's no way right now I would blow something out really bad.
Last thing before I let you go, for people ask me on Tuesday morning after seeing the score of the game between Connecticut and South Dakota State, is that more an indicament of where Connecticut is, or how much mid-major ground has to be made up with the high majors?
Well,
or maybe a little bit of both.
Ground to high major.
Okay.
There's a significant talent discrepancy between UConn, South Carolina, USC, UCLA,
Texas.
Yeah. Those 6, 7, 8 schools are loaded to 8, 9 with phenomenal athletes. Where everybody else maybe has 1 or 2.
They got 4 or 5.
They got
or more
6
than
or
that.
7.
Okay.
And it's even getting even more clustered.
Man.
So it's going to get harder to break into that. Take nothing away from SDSU. I mean, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
And obviously big-time first-round win and represented our league really well. But you're playing UConn on their home floor in the tournament.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to go well for anybody.
How sick to your stomach were to see Juju Watkins go down? That was tough. Got back from your game Monday night.
Yeah, it was awful.
That. It was terrible.
It was awful because I love watching her play and was really excited to see get into the Sweet 16, the Elite 8.
Play Connecticut, right.
Watch those really great players go against each other. You just feel cheated a little bit, and obviously you feel terrible for her because it's not a good time for that.
Nope.
It's late in the year this year.
It's going to
have some effect next year potentially on when she's ready to go, and you just hate that for such star players.
I really appreciate coming by on game day, but this was awesome. We'll see you tonight, all right?
Okay,
good luck.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dom.
Jory Collins joins us each and every Thursday. Bison and Washington State tonight. You can watch it right here on WDAY Extra. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock. You can also stream it on WDAY+. We'll break some of the drilled bench press going, and we'll get an update on that and much more. We're live on location at Bison Pro Day. We're back right after this.